Hi everyone, I'm Nicholas Tutora. Welcome to Tutora Time. Right now in Congress, the left is trying to push through the For the People Act. It's an election reform bill, and in classic totalitarian doublespeak, what the bill really is anything but for the people. It is a way of institutionalizing the fraud, the shenanigans that went on in the 2020 election. The left wants to make it the law in all federal elections that there has to be early balloting that goes on for a few weeks before, massive mail-in balloting, massive ballot distribution from people who just register at the DMV or people who happen to be on the voter registration rolls, whether they've been cleaned up or not. There are also moves to get 16-year-olds to vote, and they certainly want to register 16 and 17-year-olds automatically to have them ready to vote. They want to mail out ballots indiscriminately, and they want severe penalties in there for anyone interfering with the election. And of course, to the left, interfering with the election means anything they say it means. We just watched with our own eyes as we had the first massive mail-in ballot election in 2020. And it's definitely suspect. Time magazine openly admitted that the election was fortified by changing laws and rules to allow for this massive balloting. And we can't trust those results. In my entire life, I've never seen once the person down 48% to 52% come back and win. But yet magically in 2020, that happened 6 out of 7 times in 6 out of 7 states where it was possible. Trump was ahead 52, 54%, and by morning, he had lost all those states as the mail-in ballots slowly trickled in. Left in this bill wants to make it that you can have same-day registration to vote. So you show up, you register, and then you vote. You don't even need ID. That leads to such chaos. There's no way to check that. The left can fix the election in any state by sending people out to vote who aren't legal and aren't allowed to vote. But by the time we find out, it'll be too late, and you won't be able to question them because that'll be considered interfering with the election. The people on the left, the people leading it, Barack Obama, because Joe Biden, we know, is just a figurehead, but Barack Obama and the cabal behind it, they have silenced the people's voice. The thing that set the United States apart from every other country was the integrity of our elections. And the left has turned elections into a fraud, into a show. We believe we're voting, but it doesn't really matter. They've got it all calculated. They've got it all figured out how they will win the election regardless of what the voters actually want.
But they're getting away with it. Fuck. There's no loss anymore.
Forget it, man.
I mean, anything goes.
They've been around 1,000 years, okay? They got all the angles figured out.
You know, you have to look at the evidence of what's happening. Right now, they're letting mass immigration come in. They haven't followed through on their COVID relief promises. They haven't followed through on their student loan promises. They haven't followed through on any of their promises. So how could people really have voted for that? It doesn't really matter. The voice of the people has been silenced in 2020. And if this H.R. 1 gets through, the voice of the people is going to be silenced forever. How can we ever undo the damage? They have corrupted our election process. There are some things in the bill like campaign finance reform. Their details, I haven't seen them, so I wouldn't say I agree with it. But there is campaign finance reform, and that's something that could be done because right now we keep getting the same politicians over and over again with the exception of Trump because all the politicians have to dance to the tune of their corporate donors. So if they don't do what the donors say, they're not going to get their money. Why do you think nobody was able to stand up to the election fraud that took place? They want to make sure their campaign funding keeps coming in. I mean, a lot of people did stand up, but not as many as we need. This H.R. 1 For the People Act is anything but for the people. It is a once and for all silencing of the voice of the American electorate. It's sometimes attributed to Stalin. Maybe he said it, maybe he didn't, but the sentiment is still true. The ones who control the election are not the ones who vote, but the ones who count the votes. And right now, the left is in the process of ensuring that they are the ones in charge of counting the vote forever. If the left gets their way, there'll never be another fair election in the United States again. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I wish I could wave my magic wand and say, we can fix it all by doing X, Y, and Z. It really has to start on the state level. That's one way of doing it. The states need to push back. And who are these people that the left is constantly insulting, claiming that people are too stupid to show up on election day and vote and bring an ID? Up until 20 years ago, all voting was in person. Some states have gone all mail-in, but usually all those states go Democrat for the most part. And mail-in ballots and absentee ballots are supposed to be for people who are away, who are elderly, who are too physically frail or enabled to show up at the polls. It's not supposed to be for everybody. It's not supposed to be this McDonald's drive-through mentality where you just pop your ballot in the mail at the drive-through and everything is taken care of. You should do your duty as a citizen. Take one day out of your life to go and vote with your ID. Do it to ensure everybody else's freedom. Well, I'm Nicholas Tutora, and I'll talk to you again soon on Tutora Time. Hi, everyone. It's Nicholas Tutora. Now more than ever, it's so important to keep free speech alive. So make sure you click the subscribe button so you can stay part of our conversation.